What's your name?
My name is Dylan Kemp.
Mm-hmm. So, what is your greatest achievement in life?
My greatest achievement in life. Oof.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I'm a really good family person. Yeah, I hosted Thanksgiving twice for my dad's side of the family, and both sides were invited, but only the dad's side can make it. And put somebody, I think it was my uncle, or it's not my uncle, really is my dad's and my uncle's and aunt's cousin, but they come to our family event. Said I was like the patriarch of the family or something, which was I felt honored by that. So I think I'm a good family guy.
How do you think you developed that?
Probably
what made you that?
my grandfather. Yeah, that definitely. I think a lot of it's Mormon, some of it's probably culture too. They're probably intermixed with it. That they believe that family is everything. That you exist before you come to earth in heaven, and then you come to earth. Basically, the whole purpose of coming here is to experience life and to have a family.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, when you go back to heaven, you have that family.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty. So, were you close with your grandfather?
Yes. Yeah, very close. With all my grandparents, him and his wife have passed away, but I'm always been very close with them. Yeah.
That's cool. What was your lowest point in life?
Ooh, when my sister passed away. That one's easier to decide.
How long ago was that?
It was the winter of COVID, and I always forget if it's 2020 or 2021. I'm pretty sure it's 2020. November 28th, 2020 or 2021.
How do you find out?
So one, I still have the screenshot of the text message in 2019 or 2018. I'm pretty sure it was early September that year. I woke up to a text message saying that Brooke's at the hospital. Brooke's my sister's name. They think that she has cancer because when she was brushing her teeth, she was bleeding from her gums, and before that she was bruising really easily. And not that I really believe this, but when I was in California just a little bit before visiting my cousins out there and their family, I saw, or we were talking about why is Brooke getting all these bruises all over her. And she ended up having leukemia. And then they did some experimental things to try and make her better over the course of years, or I guess it was a year. And we ended up doing a bone marrow transplant. We trained her cells to fight the cancer and stuff too, which is pretty cool. She was part of an experimental thing for that. And then she was in remission. So then that happened. I moved to California in March of whatever year it was. And then in early June, it was back in her brain as some sort of tumor. And the whole thing was, once you make it a year in remission, there's a good chance you're gonna live, because I don't know why actually, but once you're in remission for a year, there's a good chance you're gonna live. And or the odds go up if it does come back that you'll live. And that was in early June. It was in her head. So then I flew back, I think it was the next day, or within a couple days. I think it was the next day, because then she had brain surgery 2 days after that. And she lived, and I will never forget, I was with her husband and her family at their home in I think it was Front Royal, something like that. And she called my brother-in-law when she woke up right away. And that night of the brain surgery. And none of us were expecting that. And then later on that year, it came back. Or no, it didn't. It never got better after that. But we didn't know it was a death sentence until, I think it was September. So I flew there, ended up flying back a few weeks later, I think, maybe a month later. And then there was some problems with my parents, with my dad. So I didn't want to stick around, and we did think, I thought I knew. I felt like I knew Brooke was going to get better. And then I got a phone call that it was time to come back. So then I packed up my car, drove across the country within that week, and then I stayed there until she passed away.
How'd that feel?
Ooh, it was terrible. I remember one day I was super not sober. I was high, and I felt like this weird feeling of nothing. Nothing but terrible nothing. But I've only felt it that one time, and that was while she was still alive, but while she was dying, like on hospice.
So you didn't even have like a inner monologue or anything like that?
I killed it with the weed. Yeah, I was very high the whole time.
You wouldn't have liked what your
No,
brain would have said?
I don't think. No, I was probably self-medicating, and yeah, just trying to get through it. Because I couldn't really allow my dad was not around. He was in jail actually at that time, and I was trying to encourage my mom to get through that the way that I wanted her to get through, which was by leaving him and by helping the state press charges and trying to make sure that, her daughter's passing away. It's my sister, but that's her daughter, that's probably a worse feeling. I like to think that, and not I like to think, but I think the only thing worse that I could experience, even if let's say I'm married for several years and my husband ends up passing away, I think the only thing I could experience that would be worse than what I've experienced is if I lost a child. So I always try to keep that in my mind about my sister. And then also my siblings, and she has 2 young kids. And then they're each with a different guy, so I was trying to navigate that. Didn't navigate that as successfully as I would have liked, but that's what happened.
So what are you scared of the most?
Ooh. Probably not experiencing everything I'm supposed to experience in this life. Mostly on the love front.
Like a relationship?
Yeah, because I think if there is such a thing as heaven or something, an afterlife in any form, that probably doesn't matter. I think that's like an earthly experience. And time's a ticking. I'm a third done.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of opportunities, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
What makes you happy?
Oh, I love to travel. Love to experience new things. My dog, being with my niece and my nephews. I think those are the things that make me happy. Yeah.
Do you experience that often? Or?
Not as often as I would like, but they kind of stick with me. Like I just saw my niece and my nephew and my dog. Saturday, 2 days ago, and I am gonna see my dog again on Wednesday. I got a hotel for us.
Cool.
For my dog and I. But
do you recharge with that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's a recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love doing nothing too. Like absolutely nothing. Laying on the bed, mindlessly watching YouTube or Netflix or Amazon Prime. That's like my ultimate recharge.
Yeah, need a break sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
So next one is, have you ever been in love?
I feel like I may have, but it wasn't mutual. So I think that whatever is like mutually in love it's gotta be way better.
Does it have to be mutual though?
I think for it to be real, because I think because it wasn't mutual, it was probably more of like not an obsession, but an infatuation. I was in love with the idea of somebody. but that wasn't them.
I think that's how everyone starts out, though. Right?
I think so too, but that's why I think when two people are mutually in love, once you get past that honeymoon stage, I think that's got to be, or even that honeymoon stage, it's got to be the peak of love. Actually, probably that is the peak of love. And then, or with that love, with love being like the fuzzy feelings that you get where you can't, like you're just in la la land, floating through space. Yeah, I have not felt that. Not yet.
Why?
I have this terrible habit of catching feelings for straight guys. Straight guys that probably aren't as... I bet you if they were born today, they wouldn't be straight. That's my opinion, but who knows?
Why do you think is that? Like, if you have a pattern...
I think it's because I'm not attracted to people who are more feminine than me. I want to be the more feminine one in a relationship, which I think makes it harder to find, obviously, gay guys. Because obviously gay guys are normally more feminine than me.
I'm just kind of trying to dig because, like, I experienced you as like an approachable person and kind, and I think like love, I don't think it needs much more than that. So I'm wondering, like, is there any experience in your life where like maybe a relationship like with your parents or anything that you could buy into, like...
I'm sure if I saw like a psychiatrist, or a psychologist, whatever, they'd probably tell me it had something to do with my parents' relationship with each other, but I don't, like, when I think about it, I don't think about it like that at all. I think it's that I'm attracted to guys who are not attracted to me. Whether it's because I think it's because they can't be. They're just straight. You know what I mean?
I think that's a common thing too, like, for straight guys, for anybody to, like, be attracted to whoever is not within their reach.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah. But I think people eventually break the habit. I don't know why I have not. Keeps happening.
Yeah, I feel like I don't have a good solution.
I think it's getting closer and closer, though, because the last person that I really had feelings for was more certainly closeted or whatever, but each time it happens, it seems to get closer and closer to them actually being gay. Yeah.
That's not so. I don't know if you want to answer it on the same kind of level, but do you have a goal in life? Anything you're working towards?
Oh, a dream would be to be a U.S. Senator from the Commonwealth of Virginia. That'd be a dream, but a goal is I just want to make sure that I stay happy in every phase of life. I'm happy right now, but I want to make sure that 5 years from now I'm happy then, and I just want to continually be happy. That's my mission. But I think eventually it will require me to achieve something, and that's why I think being an entrepreneur, having a family, and being involved in politics, those are the three things that I think will help me do that. And then other things like our pathways to get to those things are like owning a home, traveling. I think those things just augment it, but I think those, pursuing a dream, and then I think that's important to continue it, happiness.
What's like more important to you, like the worldly thing, money and a job status, whatever, or like the heart thing, like family and partner?
The latter, but I think that the first matters way more than I wish it did. Before COVID, I didn't think that stuff mattered at all. And then I realized, actually, you do have to eat. You have to keep a roof over your head. And there was this Brazilian guy who's very, very wealthy, and he loved me, and I loved him too, but not. No one in my family at the time had ever been divorced, and I wasn't willing to get married to somebody when we went on, a month's worth of vacations a year together. And there was also somewhat of an attraction issue on my end. And, but when COVID happened, I definitely was like, oh shit, maybe I made a mistake. Because we did love each other just in different ways. And money, I mean, he wasn't worried about COVID. And I definitely was. I saw, people who were middle class, even upper middle class, were in food lines all across the country to get food. Luckily, that never happened to me, but I never, ever, ever want that to happen. Or anything similar to that.
So in your whole life, did you ever experience poverty?
Kind of right now. This might be the... I'm fortunate. I've been pretty much able to do... I've been able to do pretty much what I want to do when I want to do it, for the most part, within reason. Like, I don't like... I do, like, when I get a car, I want it to be a nice new car, but a nice new, like, Subaru or a Honda or Ford, not a, Maserati. I don't need something like that. And when I get a TV, doesn't need to be huge, but I definitely want a Samsung. You know what I mean? That's like I want the newest, nicest iPhone, but I'll get one like every 3-4 years. That's how I operate. So I'd love to travel, and that's one reason why I moved back from San Diego, is because my day to day was like unmatched when I lived in San Diego. So much fun and so expensive. I couldn't afford to be the family guy I like to be, have daily fun, and travel internationally. So that's why I moved back home. Yeah, so that's why money does matter, because I think it, like if I had to choose, I would not choose the money. But I think that money it makes the other things easier, in a way.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have something that inspires you in life?
Not like one particular thing, but like in different aspects. Like, I think my sister was very majestic and strong in the way that she passed away. She knew she was going to pass away, and I've never met someone so strong with it. Like, when it comes to that, spirituality and family wise, I think my grandpa Kemp, that matters so much to him. Forgiveness, probably my mom. Yeah, I think that's it. But no, like something overall, no, I don't think so.
Does any of the things that you just, or the people that you just listed, does that still drive you today?
Yeah, not day to day, but and whenever those things become relevant, like in boot camp, when I was like, oh gosh, what have I done? I was just like, my sister was able to get through something way worse, so just keep it together. And then just trying to be close to my nieces and nephews, like reaching out to their parents when I don't necessarily want to. I follow my grandfather for that stuff, and then I guess that same route for forgiveness. Yeah. But yeah, honestly not that often. They're like, I keep them in my back pocket for when I need to. I feel like I do a pretty good job of sacrificing some things to make sure I stay above board with those things that matter the most. Like for example, seeing my niece and nephew the other day. I could have gone, I'm sure it was Saturday during Exodus. I could have gone out to DC and got hammered, I'm sure. Had a great time. It was one of my friend's birthdays. I could have met up with them, I'm sure. So.
But you rather went to see your family?
Yeah. Yeah, I would rather not. And, yeah.
I think that's going to be better for you in the long run.
I think so too. I think it doesn't make it easier to find somebody though. I'm not going to find somebody inside my parents' townhouse.
Well, but
my in DC.
Find somebody who's less attracted to a promiscuous party life. Somebody who would be interested in.
If we would go out and about.
A long-term thing.
My family, we don't do a whole bunch though. Like when we're together, we basically jump from house to house.
Yeah.
We don't. We don't go in public that often, honestly. One of my sisters, my living sister, I'm pretty sure she has like agoraphobia. And my other brother has some issues. My only brother has some issues too. We don't. My mom has always been a homebody. I'm a homebody. I definitely like going out, but like, even when I was in San Diego, I would go out.
Like sounds like two extremes.
Sick, yeah.
That you're used to, like.
Yes.
The very closed up thing.
And then I let
almost isolated, and then like
the opposite.
Party life, yeah.
Yeah, like 6 days a month, probably, roughly. I would be out. I could be out in public all day long, and then the rest of the time I just want to be inside alone with my dog. I don't even like going on a walk with him because I have to like, say good morning and chat little small talks with people that I run into. It's very weird. Very weird, but it's the way it is.
I'll cut right there.